Hi everybody, as promised, I'm back. I got my 2-inch spacers in the mail. Of course, they're made in China, like everything else. But at least I had to pay tariffs for the next couple of weeks or so. Who knows? But so they came with the set of like a hex bolt on the top, and these hex bolts go through the spacer. I'm gonna pull the spacer up here. Once you get you put these hex bolts, it doesn't come with any directions, which is rather interesting. But if you look at these spacers, these are the 2-inch spacers. I think I only paid 65 bucks for them or something like that. There's so many different types. I mean, you can't screw up an aluminum spacer that goes on the top of your strut. Go with, I mean, this brand, I'd have to go back and look. I can't remember what brand it was. Obviously nothing in the box that says what they are. Made in China, but they're machined pretty nice. They're aluminum machined, and not so bad. I don't think. I think they're actually pretty decent spacers. But, I was gonna go with like a 2.5-inch spacer, but they say it moves. My truck is only a 2-wheel drive, and it's got the 6-cylinder in the front, so I don't think that a 2.5-inch spacer or 2-inch quarter-inch spacer. I mean, quarter-inch is not gonna make that much difference, but half-inch. Quite a bit. It's actually going to make the truck sit up a little bit higher because it's not as heavy in the front as a 4-wheel drive truck or a truck with a bigger engine in it. I hate that factory rake on these trucks, so this is like my next mod, all-time mod, because I can't stand that factory rake on the trucks. This 2-inch spacer actually gives you enough room for a 33-inch tire to sit into the wheel wells with no problems, without any rubbing or anything like that. So these hex bolts, you see they got holes here. You can see that one there. And so you mount the hex bolts through this side of it, and that gets you your mount bolts for your strut. The other holes the mount bolts go through. It comes with lock nuts, nylon plated lock nuts, and that should get you through there. So I'm gonna get started, jack the truck up, put it on jack stands. I've watched a ton of videos on how to do this. Everybody has a little bit different idea. Some say you gotta get a spring compressor to rotate the top half 180. Obviously you can see these are 180 apart. You don't really necessarily have to do that. I saw a really nice one where the only reason you do that, the strut's perfectly round all the way around, so there's nothing mounted to it, obviously. And the only thing that's different is the 2 mount bolts on the bottom. They're angled funny. So when you take the one strut out, put the spacer on it, go down to that bottom where the 2 mount bolts attach. So I'm not sure how long this thing records for. It's kind of weird. So, but you put that in a vise, or you a pair of pliers, or I don't know, vice grips, and kind of angle that 180 of where it's at, and the strut will go right in. I'm a big fan of pounding the 2 mount bolts out of the bottom, because it gives you, geez, like 2 inches, 2.5 inches of play there to move around and do things with. So we're gonna roll with this, see how we do. So okay, here we go. So in the videos, you have these 2 lines. I can't see them in the video, but it's an 8 and a 10 to take the speed sensor off for the cruise control, and then the brake line off. Okay. Ouch, 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 ouch. They're not really bad to take off. You know, looking at this, it doesn't, you know, people take everything off, and it's like, I don't know if you really got to do that or not. We're going to find out. So. There's the cruising cable, the speed cable up here, but I can't figure out how to get that. I can't see it, so I can't figure out how to get it disconnected. It'd be really nice if I could. But so those are off. Those are the two that they said you should take off. I think I'm gonna pop this one off too in the back here, because I think. So somebody, I found out, because I was jacking up in my garage, somebody decided to cross thread. This is from the dealer now. Cross thread the antenna into the little socket up there in the fender. I was like, that's nice, factory cross threaded antenna. Like really nice. It was like half in. I was like, wait a minute, why is this only half in? And of course it's all cross threaded in there. Here, I'll show you those. If I can get this unclipped from here without scratching stuff. So these are the two that came off of here. Now if I can figure out how that goes. This one went on, these go like that. Goes in there like that. This one goes on there like that. And so I'd like to get my screen back, but I can't do it. So I'm just taking this brake one off too. This should all come off, just so we have enough room to fool around with stuff and move the thing up and down. So we're doing that. Figure out a way to. Let's see if I can get away with not having to. It stays up in there. Doesn't look like it's gonna. Alright, so we get that off, that off, that off. I think I will take the brake caliper off. I squished the calipers back a little bit. They're brand new, so I don't have any problem putting them back on. We'll do that. Okay, so got the strut out. What I did was I took the this on both sides, so you had enough room to maneuver it around a little bit for the sway brace. Some of them said take the tire bolts off the sway brace. I didn't feel I needed to do that. Tie rod end, top ball joint, and loosen up the screws or the nuts up here on top, and of course these ones on the bottom. Be real careful with this one. I couldn't get it disconnected up top, so I'm trying to be really careful with it. So far I haven't tweaked it or anything, which is good. May, because I got to go down quite a bit to get the strut in. But what I did was I pounded these bolts out, so I have that room. You gain 2 inches out of that. So this is the thing that you want to turn once you put the strut back in, so you don't have to undo this screen compress to turn this 180. So you just crank these over a little bit and life is good. So that's it. I'll show you the install on the other things here in a sec. So I did take a brake caliper off. It probably would have been good to take the whole bracket off. I'd get a little bit more weight off of it, but it's okay. I mean, added weight to help draw it down to him too. Which is nice was this was a newer truck, so everything just kind of popped right off. So it wasn't really hard to get it all off here. So what we're doing is, these are the spacers that go on. Probably like, let's see here, no threads. They're gonna go on like here. They're gonna go on, in case you wanted to see that, right? You can only get it on one way here, so you can't really dick it up bad. Let's see, I want to go not on the threaded end. So you got threaded and you got non-threaded. And I want the non-threaded ends to go over these ones here. Let's see how they fit. Hopefully that fits. I'm gonna be really pissed if this don't fit. There we go. So it's gonna go on like that. Hopefully it goes on like that. Interesting. Here, let me check this out. So there we go. I guess I didn't have it on the right way. So you put the supplied nuts. Let's see where we're at here. What am I looking at? Oh, I'm looking at something. All right, so I can't see where I'm looking at here. Oh, duh. Gotta turn around the other way. So this is how they fit on. You put the supplied nuts in here, and you're gonna reuse the stock nuts when you put the hex bolts on. But so I just want to show you the fit on this. So now I got to take it back off, put the hex bolt back in it, and then install it. All right, so put the new cap and everything on the strut. I'll show you that a little bit more in depth on the next strut. But here as you can see, you know, these are a little bit off now because it's a 180 out, right? So I'm just gonna put my giant crescent wrench on here, bend those down so they're a little bit more aligned, and life is good. And believe it or not, that worked. So here, I cranked on it with the crescent wrench. You gotta go against the rubber in the boot, so it's a pretty good hefty pull on there, but you get it, it works good. Worked actually really good, much better than I thought it would work. So now I'm just gonna pound the bolts, put the bolts back in, put the nuts on, try and secure them down, make sure they're going into these splines good that way, and then start putting everything back together. Okay, so I got everything done yesterday afternoon. It came out really good. The truck's nice and level. No complaints at all. It's a time-consuming job. It's not a difficult job, but it's a lot of time-consuming job right there. It took me probably 2 hours each side, so a total of 4 hours, a little under 4 hours. Second side was a teeny bit easier, but you had to contend with, I did the driver's side first, and then I went and did the passenger side. Passenger side has an extra brake line in there that's a stainless steel one, so you gotta be kind of careful not to bend the crap out of that one. And I never disconnected the speed sensor cable off of the hub at all. I didn't see the need for that. I just had to make sure that, you know, nothing's pulling on it, and just keep it loose while you're doing the job. I mean, I pulled out all the little clampy things that get pushed through the little cardboard thing in the wheel well, which is, blew me away that thing is like almost like cardboard. But I bought from Amazon, I bought the ZY wheel front leveling kit strut spacers. They were $45.99. Really well made. Everything fit like it was supposed to. The hex bolts that go in, I mean, it was simple. I mean, you can look at them and kind of figure out how they go. It was easy to do. It's a nice mod to do. Like everybody says, I'm going to go and get my front end alignment on it because I don't want it to wear the tires funny. And you're not really busting any of the alignment tools the alignment stuff per se with removing the strut, but you're increasing the height of the truck per se. And I don't know if that affects the toe in or toe out of the tire or not, because the actual strut and everything is still the same. I don't know if it would change it all that much, but I'm gonna go have it done anyways because everybody recommends that you do that. Anything you do with the front end is probably a good idea to get it done. I've got Ford Pass points, so it's not gonna cost me a dime to get it done anyways. So overall, it wasn't good. I liked it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a difficult thing, just time consuming. And then I would highly recommend that you get a 18-inch or 18 millimeter ratcheting box end wrench. That would have been super helpful. The strut bolts on the top, I could get a ratchet in there, except for the back one. The back one, you had to use a wrench on, so that took a little bit of time wrenching that off. If I had had a ratcheting box end wrench, it would have made it a heck of a lot easier. And on the other side, on the passenger side, you have that line that goes across, or the air conditioning lines are there, so you definitely can't fit a socket in there at all. I mean, the other two you can, it's not a problem. It's just that back one that's a little bit tough to get at. So the ratcheting box end wrench would have been nice. Now the sway bar bracket braces, I pulled a nut on both the bottom and the top one. It's not that bad. People are saying just disconnect the hole, take the 4 bolts that hold the whole sway bar up, and that way you don't have to worry about it. I didn't want to do that. I kept to one side or the other, and undoing those is not bad. They tend to spin, so that's where your 18 millimeter box end wrench would have been handy. I had just a regular one, so it took a little bit of time. I put an 8 millimeter socket on a socket wrench on the bottom of it so it wouldn't spin, but still takes some time to do it. And that's probably what was more time consuming, is doing all this stuff where I should have had an 18 millimeter box end ratchet, and it would have been worked really well. So if you're highly or like semi-mechanical, you can do this mod. It's pretty easy. I popped the bolts out of the lower end, the lower part of the strut, the 2 bolts that go into the lower control arm, only because it gives you about, I don't know, inch and a half more distance to play with when you go to put the strut in. So you're not pressing down really hard on that lower control arm that has everything connected to it. So it wasn't a bad mod. If you got all the basic tools in your garage, I mean, I have a 1/2-inch Ryobi impact wrench, which for some strange reason, even with an 18-volt battery, doesn't want to even break the lug nuts off the tires. So I got to figure out that or get something different. I had the 1/2-inch
wired one half horsepower from Harbor Freight, and I'm thinking that probably would have worked better. But this battery operated one, no way. I was kind of disappointed in that. But overall, not a bad. It makes the truck look so much better. If I go to tow anything with this, I'm probably going to put like an airbags in the back or air shocks in the back, so I can adjust it so it keeps it level and I don't have to worry about screwing up the suspension in any way. And that'd be simple mod to do. A totally simple mod to do. But overall, yeah, it's sorry I didn't put the video part where I'm putting in the bolts and the hex bolts and the spacers, but it's really simple if you look at it. Now, they don't send any directions with you at all. And I had to look up the torque specs on the ball joint and the upper ball joint and the tie rod end and the strut bolts. Those are all in foot-pounds. And if you don't have a foot-pound torque wrench that goes up past, say, 500, you might be SOL. Mine went up to 100. So I got the strut bolts. They were like 30 foot-pounds, I think they were. And then that was pretty much the only ones I could actually use it on. And because everything else was like 300 foot-pounds or something. So I cranked on those pretty hard. Hopefully they don't ever come apart. I don't think they will. And yeah, so I'll throw a picture of the truck after I got it done. It looks great. And next mod's coming. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. Probably put a new wheels on it and tires, or the bed cover, the tonneau cover for the bed. I like the hard ones that you can actually stand on. They're pricey though, but it's going to make the truck look so much better. So we'll talk to you later. Until next time. Bye.